Hello, everybody. Welcome to this lecture on the presentation skills in English, part 3. In this lecture, I would like to discuss about closing the presentation and handling the questions. Closing the presentation is very important. You need to signal to the audience that you are going to end this presentation. But the closing should be very effective. It should create an impact and you must be able to handle the questions elegantly. So, let us see how to close the presentations. There are some effective ways of closing the presentation. The first is you could restate your purpose or the objectives. The second one is summarize the main points. The third is signal the end of your presentation by stating that I think I've come to the end of my presentation. You could also thank the audience for their attention. Invite questions by asking, does anyone have any questions? So these are some of the effective ways of concluding a presentation. So how should the closing be? The first important guideline is be short. Don't drag after saying finally. Be consistent. Don't introduce new ideas and confuse the audience at the end. Be clear. Stress the main ideas in simple terms. Be tailored. It means that focus on their interests. Be memorable. You need to do something differently in order to make this presentation a memorable one to the audience. Be informative. You could provide more information to the audience. So now let us see how to add impact to the presentation. So the presentation has been completed and now you have come to the concluding statement. So how could you make the concluding statement? It should be made in such a way that will make the audience think or push them to action or gain inspiration or get a sense of achievement or demonstrate benefits. So in order to create an impact, what should be done? The presentation should be concluded with a controversial statement. Or you could illustrate your key message. You could use a good audiovisual to put all things together. Offer praise to someone who had asked a good question. Or end with a great quotation of a great personality. So far we have seen how to close the presentation. Now we are going to see how to handle the questions. The model is the RACER model. R stands for respond, A for answer, C for check, E for encourage, R for return to presentation. I repeat once again, R for respond, A for answer, C for check, E for encourage, and R for return to presentation. So when someone asks a question, you could respond by saying, yes, I do understand. That's an interesting question. Could you please clarify the question? Or you could answer the question by giving a brief answer. Or you could check and then say, did I answer your question? Is it okay? Do you need more clarification? You could also encourage by asking, are there any more questions? If there are no more questions, you could return to the presentation and say, so if there are no questions, I think we could finish. So these are some of the ways by which you can handle the questions. So in this presentation, we had seen that how to close the presentation, how to create an impact, and how to handle the questions. Here there is a worksheet. This is a closing of a presentation. Some words are missing, and read the passage and fill it up with the words given at the bottom. Here there is another one exercise. Match the words in column A with the corresponding statements in column B. So now we have come to the end of part 3. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation. So in part 1, we had discussed how to open the presentation. In part 2, we had discussed how you should deliver the content and in what style. And in part 3, we have discussed how to conclude the presentation and handle the questions. I think that you have been benefited by this presentation. Thank you once again for listening. All the best.